Go.
Hi, this is DW. I'm on the Las Vegas scene tonight, and I have Sherry Gordy sitting next to me. She's the daughter of Barry Gordy, the founder of Motown, and I have his nephew over here, Robert Gordy Jr., and he's kind of an expert, they tell me, on Motown. And,
a little bit.
A little bit?
He's the historian of the family.
He's the historian of the family. I kind of just wanted to know, Robert, how did we get Motown to Las Vegas? How does it mix?
Well, we were very fortunate when Sherry's father, Barry Gordy, first started out, in the late 50s, writing the first 5 big hits with Jackie Wilson and launching himself being the most prolific songwriter in Detroit, and a lot of great talent used to kind of gravitate toward him. Smokey Robinson was still in high school, Supremes were still in grade school, and the more they saw that he was very prolific as far as producer, arranger, and he just had this talent of bringing people together, diverse people and sales. So Motown really kind of hit Las Vegas in the early 60s once his major artists began to take off, the Supremes, Four Tops, Smokey Robinson. So Barry Gordy, with his connections, he actually was one of the first big entrepreneurs and producers, promoters to come to Las Vegas in the just mid 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen pictures of them on the strip, at the Sands.
Yeah.
They had conventions as far as sales and promotion marketing conventions back in the mid 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So they were out here even then, and through his talents, he was able to get some of his artists like the Supremes, the Four Tops, Smokey Robinson, actually in some of the nightclubs, in the casinos, Caesar's Palace, and the Frontier Hotel and things. And so there's a lot of great pictures of them. Even as we were kids, sometimes we were actually allowed to come into the showrooms and see the big acts.
Yeah.
So if you see some pictures, I know Joanne Jackson, she's got pictures all on the wall from the late 60s, early 70s of some of the kids at the Caesar's Palace showroom, when the Jackson 5 actually hit the scene. But
So Barry was a pioneer in Las Vegas with that. And what I've read and what I understand, the 60s were, you had to be a pioneer, particularly if you're African American.
Absolutely.
Because the town kind of still had to be broken open,
Exactly. They still had to break down the barriers of segregation and discrimination in the early 60s, even allowed the African American artists to perform and stay at the hotels.
Mm-hmm.
There's stories of how the African Americans weren't even allowed to stay at the hotels. But some of the biggest artists, Sammy Davis Jr., Nat King Cole, Lena Horne, Pearl Bailey, they couldn't stay at the hotels.
They could perform there, but they couldn't stay there.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And, so a lot of the great artists, it was a problem for them, but through a lot of integrity and civil rights movement and everything, they would break down the barriers and everything. Josephine Baker was one of the first ones to demand that she be treated equal as all the other artists, perform at the casinos and stay at the hotels. So she helped break down all the barriers. And Barry Gordy was able to take advantage of all the civil rights and a lot of the goodwill that the great artists had helped break down. Frank Sinatra had helped break down a lot of barriers, telling some of the entertainment directors, if Sammy Davis Jr. or Nat King Cole not allowed to stay at the hotel, he would refuse. He would, break his contract with the Sands. They were able to stay at the Moulin Rouge, and when they saw that Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Joey Bishop were all going to the Moulin Rouge to be with their friends, then they said, we've got to do something about this, because they're taking everybody off the strip,
Your money's the same color as anybody else in the 60s, right?
But Barry Gordy, through his phenomenal personality and his drive and his initiative and his ability to bring people together, he was able to break those barriers down and ride the wave of the civil rights movement.
I wonder too a little bit about the Moulin Rouge and how that kind of broke things up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was the first integrated casino in the mid 50s, and even Joe Louis had part ownership at one time. But it was the only casino in Las Vegas that would allow African Americans to mingle with the general public and the audience, and actually gamble and enjoy the nightclub scene. And so people like I said, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, you know, Joey Bishop, all of their crowd came to the Moulin Rouge. But, you know, even then, they, you know, the heads of a lot of the casinos and what they call the Old Boys Network, you know, they still made it a hard time. And eventually the Moulin Rouge, you know, it was open for about 6 months, and then all of a sudden they closed down, and then years later they were able to reopen again. And, but they had a lot of difficulties, but by that time, some of the beers were starting to come down on the strip. So.
What about Motown today? What about Motown today, Sherry? What do you see in town? And is it where you want it to be?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a great legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Great legacy.
Because I know there's a couple of Motown shows out there.
Oh, they got so many right now. I mean, Smokey Robinson with Human Nature, drove 4 guys from Australia. You know, they're at the Venetian, and they started out at the Imperial Palace. And their show got so big, they moved the Jersey Boys out of the Venetian into the Paris and gave the Human Nature their spot with Smokey Robinson presenting them and everything. So it was
So opportunities for African American entertainers in Las Vegas. Is it good?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's,
well, look at us.
Good,
Yeah, look at you.
And we've got a beautiful building organization. Sherry is at the helm. And
Yeah.
she's got a fantastic organization, great people. You know, Mr. Willie Patterson. We've got Lillian Rice. We've got, you know.
Sherry, what do you want to see in Las Vegas? What is your desire? What do you want to see in Las Vegas? What would make you happy?
Well, what we're doing now, you know, every Thursday, I want to see people be happy. You know, life is so precious, and it's very short. And I want to see everybody enjoy and have a good time, and a safe environment. And you know, everyone loves Motown music, and it's multicultural. And to me, that's what broke down the barriers as well, was the music.
Sure,
and
absolutely.
So the music is what we want to hear, and I just want to see it just really grow. You know, so more of us can get out. Baby boomers.
Yeah.
Can have a place to go.
Yeah. Baby boomers.
Yay!
Okay, thanks guys. I really appreciate you sitting with me on this one. This is DW on the Las Vegas scene. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much.